Today's sorry. Today's Bible verse is 2 Peter 1:4, and this is the verse is very powerful, very encouraging and uplifting, and it's probably something that I could talk about forever. There's a lot of different Bible verses that reinforce it, that relate to it. I could go off on a ton of rabbit trails, but I'll try to keep it short. I'll try to keep it short because I know the more I talk, the less you listen, and that's that that's just how it is. But you can take as little or as much from these verses as you want, and um, apply them as much or as little as you want, I guess. So today, like I said, 2 Peter 1:4, and the verse is, by which he had by which he has granted to us his precious and very great promises, so that through them you may become partakers of the divine nature, having escaped from the corruption of this world because of sinful desire. So everyone in this world has sinful desire. We were born with sin nature. We were born tainted with sin. And I know you hear, "Oh no, we're all born with a clean slate." Yeah, yeah, of course we are. Of course we are. But we have sin nature in us because we are all God's children, all descendants of God, all descendants of Adam and Eve, and we all know what happened in the Garden of Eden when God established his first kingdom of paradise, and then they sinned, and the world was then tainted with sin. Um, so through that, we have sin nature. No arguments about it. It just, that is what it is. It doesn't mean that we're bad people. It doesn't mean that, babies are bad because they're born with sin. No, God, that's not it at all. They're the most innocent beings on this earth, and they should be preserved and protected at all costs. So that's not the issue. The issue is giving in to the sin, giving in to instant gratification, giving in to what you know isn't right. Um, we, through Jesus, through his atonement with us, are given the great promises of God. We are given the divine nature. We are given the same divine nature that Jesus had. All we have to do is accept him. All we have to do. Now, God has found us. God has chosen us. All right? The difference, this comes from Andrew Womack, who says that the difference between conventional religion and Christianity is that religion is man seeking God. Christianity is God seeking man. Well, guess what? You don't have to seek God. God's found you. He's got you. He gave you the greatest gift that he could possibly give anybody in his son, Jesus. And we have all of those gifts. Not because of anything we've done, because, like I said, we're sinful in nature, but because of what Jesus did, we are atoned with him because of the cross. So, because of that, we are partakers in the divine nature, and we are granted all the promises of God. And these promises, basically, I mean, to break them down, are God will provide for you, God will prosper you, God will protect you, God will preserve you through eternal life. Because through Jesus, we all have eternal life. John 3:16, for God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten son, so that we shall no longer perish but have eternal life. I might have gotten a few words messed up there, but um, That's what it is. So we have this divine nature within us, this all this goodness that comes from Jesus, but we live in a corrupt world. We live in a sinful world. We live in what is the domain of darkness, as it's called in the Bible. Because why? It's tainted by the devil. Why? Because the devil basically took over Adam and Eve. And now he has tainted this world. Jesus delivered us from that domain of darkness. But until we accept him, we are still living in that domain of darkness. Now, granted, yes, we are in this world. We are in this world, but we are not of this world. So we have to survive in this world until we go to the kingdom of heaven. Now, in doing that, we have to have faith in God's promises. We have to have faith in Jesus. We have to basically preserve the goodness of this earth, preserve each other, and protect each other until Jesus comes to establish his kingdom on earth that we have been given domain over. In Colossians 1:13, it says, "He has delivered us from the domain of darkness and transferred us to the kingdom of his beloved Son." Yes, that's on a spiritual level. Absolutely. So we have within us all the fruits of the Spirit, all the loving, kindness, patience, self-control, joy, kindness, all within us. And it's up to us to spread that, to establish this kingdom of light, this kingdom of love. But we are establishing it in the domain of darkness. Now, the domain of darkness that we live in, the sinful world that we live in, Paul describes this, or describes our sinful nature, our nature without God, our nature without belief in Jesus, our nature in Romans 1:29 to 31, he says very clearly, and this kind of cracks me up how descriptive and how degrading it is. But it says, "They were filled with all manner of unrighteousness, evil, covetousness, malice. They are full of envy, murder, strife, deceit, maliciousness. They are gossips, slanderers, haters of God, insolent, haughty, boastful, inventors of evil, disobedient to parents, foolish, faithless, heartless, and ruthless." These are all the sins of the world today. You look at the way the world is today, and unfortunately, that's it. That's the world. That's the world that we live in. But that's not the world that we're of, as long as we have accepted Jesus. The world that we're of is this kingdom of light. And on this earth, all we can do is be the light. Be the light. Be positive. Be loving. Be forgiving. Don't be bitter. Don't be jealous. Don't be angry. I mean, I understand you can't help getting angry at things sometimes, but don't hold on to it. Don't harbor it. Forgive. Forgive. Forget. Move on. Love each other. Because bottom line, isn't that what it's all about? It's all about love. Love trumps everything. Love trumps everything. And Colossians, I'll end with this. It's Colossians 1:11 to 12. "May you be strengthened with all power according to his glorious might, for all endurance and patience with joy, giving thanks to the Father who has qualified you to share in the inheritance of the saints of light. We're all qualified. We are all qualified through Jesus Christ. We just have to be the light, love each other, and establish our kingdom of love here on this earth. So don't give in to sinful ways. Don't give in to instant gratification. Know that it's all a process and that we are truly saints of the light. We are not these little minions of darkness. Out of the darkness comes light. And everything is trumped by love.